So, just what observations have you made from the copper conference so far, talking to executives this year? It seems that so many of the executives in the industry are very bullish about the price of copper, and seem to be quite optimistic that China is going to continue to demand more copper, even though we've seen, for example, an interest rate rise to curb inflation.
I think that probably there is more bullish than bearish this time, and I think in general the industry believes that price should be at a good level this year. Not necessarily increasing from current levels, but say a good price.
Right.
On the $4.
I see. And how do you see the mine supply shortage situation? Because we've seen, for example, this year, possibly there are going to be further declines at Chuquicamata. There's definitely
no.
Oh no? Okay.
No.
Well, there's definitely a decline at Escondida. There's problems at Collahuasi, and do you see a wider shortage in the market than people were anticipating?
If we look back on the last, say, 4 or 5 years, every year the actual production has been probably short of 500,000 tons compared to what analysts expected. And that's mainly because in this business you have bad news, and it's unlikely that you will have good news in terms of an increase in production. And this year probably will not be different. In our case, in Codelco, we have had some problems in some of our mines this first quarter, but it has been compensated with production in other mines. Then overall, we are very close to our annual budget. And we expect that we should reach our budget by the end of the year.
Is that the production target when you talk about the budget?
Yeah. Production target is for around 1.75 million tons of copper.
Okay. And you talked this morning about financing needs of about $600 million for this year. How do you plan to raise that capital, and when would you look to be?
I think that we don't need to raise that the first half of the year, probably by the end of this year. By that time we will know if the owner will keep some money inside the company. If not, we have to go to the market, but it's a marginal amount compared to what we have. Then probably bank loans and not bonds.
I see. Okay, great. Is that enough for you?
One more question.
And just in terms of and we've seen this year, this decade, you're expecting Chuquicamata's production to tail off, and the new underground project would come into effect. And for the first time in your annual results, we've seen what production at Chuquicamata is, as you've divided it from Radomiro Tomic. But what is the outlook for the next year or two at Chuquicamata? Where do you see production going at this mine?
Chuquicamata, that produced I think 548,000 tons last year, should decline to reach around in excess of 300, and then go back to previous levels when the underground mine is at full production. Then Chuquicamata during a certain period will have a lower production compared to historical one.
When does
the gap will be filled by Radomiro Tomic, that will be sending ore more than what we are sending now to Chuquicamata plants to fill that gap. The grade from Radomiro Tomic sulfide ore is lower than what we have at Chuquicamata, and overall it's lower production.
When does that lower production come? When will that become apparent in your numbers?
I think by every year there is a slight decline. In 2014 we will be short of oxide ore in Chuquicamata, and then that plant has 150,000 tons of copper capacity per year. Then we can mitigate that partially, but not fully. We don't know exactly how much we can do. We are working on the detailed plan.
Okay.